Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Teofimo Lopez provides crucial update on Gervonta Davis vs Isaac Pitbull Cruz rematch. It is overwhelming how so many names are being linked to WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis. Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez, after a phone call with the Pitbull Cruz team, revealed the Davis vs Cruz rematch was on its way to the ring. Since October last year, Cruz's manager Sean Gibbons has been talking about the rematch confidently. In fact, he had even claimed that the PBC and Al Heyman were in the process of delivering Isaac Cruz vs Gervonta Davis rematch in the form of a post-Christmas gift. However, the fight didn't come to fruition last year, but after Pitbull captured the WBA super lightweight title, having defeated Rolando Romero, boxers regained their interest in the Mexican boxer. One of the boxers who fancied a fight against Cruz was Teofimo Lopez. On August 3rd, on the undercard of Terence Crawford vs Israel Madrimov, Pitbull Cruz will defend his WBA title against Jose Valenzuela inside the BMO Stadium, Los Angeles. Head of this event, Teofimo Lopez, who aspires to become a unified champion at 140 pounds, spoke about getting in touch with Cruz's team for a potential fight. "I got to educate y'all this fight. I tried to fight Isaac Cruz and I spoke to his manager," started Lopez. "But did Team Cruz accept Lopez's offer?" Sean Gibbons said, "Not yet, we just got the belt, champ. We gotta go and try to focus on a Gervonta Davis rematch," he continued. "So you're gonna see that very soon, by the way. I'm saying it like it is. I'm not sorry," Lopez added. In this context, one must mention that Sean Gibbons lately declared there was a solid chance Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Davis could share the ring this year. Sean Gibbons on the perfect time for Isaac Cruz vs Gervonta Davis rematch. While Isaac Cruz seemed to rush, he displayed explosiveness combined with precision striking against Rolando Romero in March this year. Pitbull looked strong and delivered every shot with mean intention against Raleigh. As a result, Romero looked helpless and lost, and the aspire Sean Gibbons after Cruz defeated Rolando in the 8th round. Support for Pitbull significantly increased. Based on that, he feels following Cruz's fight against Valenzuela in August, they should not wait too long for the rematch against Gervonta. "We are not chasing Gervonta now that we have the belt, but everywhere we go, everyone wants to know when we are fighting Gervonta Davis," said Sean Gibbons. "He is ready to fight and the fans are ready to see him again. December is perfect," he added, boasting of Cruz's recent success in the ring. With that said, do you want to see Isaac Cruz vs Gervonta Davis in December this year? Let us know in the comment section below. "He don't really have no power or control." Shakur Stevenson remains brutally honest about Coach Kenny's Gervonta Davis ask. After the KO victory over Frank Martin at the MGM Grand Arena, Gervonta Davis declared he would fight all of them, the likes of Shakur and the other fighters. Having predicted the WBA lightweight champion confidently announced that the match against Shakur would be good for the sport. On that note, after Kenny Ellis, one of Gervonta Davis' coaches, called out Shakur Stevenson, the boxer from New York broke his silence lately. On Mill City Boxing, when Kelly Ellis met Shakur Stevenson's uncle, Coach Dirt, Ellis pushed for Shakur vs Davis. "If they don't fight within 2025, they should never fight," said Ellis. As Kenny Ellis believed Davis and Stevenson were at the top of the game, with sufficient experience and commendable amateur backgrounds, they had to fight in a year. But Kenny Ellis' words determined the action. The same question has been raised by Shakur. Although Ellis predicted Davis vs Shakur for 2025, Coach Dirt felt the fight could wait for some more time. Similarly, even though Shakur looked forward to recreating Roberto Duran vs Sugar Ray Leonard against Davis, the WBC lightweight champion did not match the desperation expressed by Coach Ellis. Kenny could go out there and say a whole bunch of things. Shakur began talking to Jeff Zimmerman from Fight Hub. "I like Coach Kenny because he is like a coach who analyzes things. He is watching. I respect what he says. but he don't really have no power or control over the situation of Gervonta Davis, added Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta is on his own business. Gervonta runs his own business alongside El Heyman, so then decisions basically come down to whatever Tank said, not what Coach Kenny says. So we'll find out, Stevenson concluded. Meanwhile, Coach Duert explained what was stopping Davis vs Shakur for the time being. On Mill City Boxing, Kenny Alvis very confidently declared that boxing fans wanted to see Gervonta vs Shakur. Frankly speaking, while there is significant interest in Davis vs Shakur, a certain section of the world feels it is time to share the ring with Gervonta. Even Shakur Stevenson admitted that he could be a tremendous fight. However, what do you think about the situation? Manager insists Shakur Stevenson is a bigger fight for Gervonta Davis. These are two fights that Shakur Stevenson wants, but he does not feel he is close to any of them. On the wish list of the WBC lightweight champion are WBA ruler Gervonta Davis. Gifted southpaw Stevenson, 26, meets Artyom Karatunyan in the last fight of his existing deal with promoter Top Rank on July 7th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Stevenson's sole manager Josh Dobbin has defended Stevenson's position as a significant draw in boxing, having taken exception to a recent interview given by promoter Bob Arum. If a fighter does not bring to the table eyeballs, people who will pay to see the match, then it's really tough to make a big match for them, Arum said. That, in my opinion, and I manage Shakur with James Prince. That is a totally nonsensical reason why they are not pushing to get Shakur this fight, said Dobbin. Shakur has been consistently one of the highest rated fighters on their roster anytime he fights on ESPN. The only time he didn't pull one of the higher ratings is when they had he fight on a Tuesday night and tried to convince us because of the Formula 1 race that was going to be the biggest event in the world. Shakur didn't even want to do it. He said they are not going to be able to fill the arena. People can draw their own conclusions. I think it's pretty obvious. In my opinion, they don't want to give him a big fight because their contract is running out, but they have the power to say, look, Shakur is a bigger fight, and he is a bigger fight, in our opinion, because they are two undefeated guys in their prime. They are putting a 36-year-old out there against him. Shakur wants the biggest fights, and I understand they can't force people to fight him, but to give the explanation that they are not trying to negotiate a Gervonta Davis fight because Shakur isn't the draw is just nonsense. Then the guy who just beat Emmanuel Navarrete, he is making videos calling him out. Shakur just sits here and has to take it. They have the ability to make the fight happen. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.